to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the longest-running Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
We're always in control, and when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Because we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Wednesday, January the 7th. I'm your host, Mike Oliva. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. There's been, since my show yesterday, mid-morning, we got some new business here. We got some new information here that might be a game changer. Obviously, that is John Harbaugh becoming available as a head coach on the open market. And there's already reports out that Miami has reached out. And we're going to talk about all of that on today's show and why this is Stephen Ross's moment. This is the moment he's been waiting for many years. And we're going to discuss it all. Before I get to that, though, as always, let's get the business stuff out of the way. A shout out to everyone listening at finheaven.com. Everyone go to finheaven.com, largest Miami Dolphins message board on the internet. Also, a shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Caneswear. Everyone go to caneswear.com for the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet. If you need something for the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Hurricanes have got a big game in about 24 hours. The Heat, the Marlins, or any of the teams in South Florida, go to caneswear.com. They ship internationally. If you're in South Florida, stop by their shop at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Caneswear.com has it all. Go to Caneswear. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you as always. Do me a favor. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And super chats are open. I'm here flying solo today. So send me a super chat. And I will share it on the screen. I will address your comment or question. And super chats are open. It's the best way to support our website, our podcast, and what we do. And much appreciated. So send in a super chat, and we will read it. All right. Let's get into this John Harbaugh story. It's crazy. It's crazy because 24 hours ago I did a show talking about how Stephen Ross kind of fumbled the first day of the Miami Dolphins offseason, sent Mike McDaniel out there with no answers, no questions, saying misinformation, and then they had to do their PR cleanup yesterday, sort of fixing everything that he said that was wrong. So here we are now, 24 hours later, and I'm not saying John Harbaugh's coming to Dolphins, but at least there's a little bit of hope. I'll say this. There's a puncher's chance here that Miami could possibly get, maybe, who knows, John Harbaugh. And this is, what Stephen Ross has kind of been waiting for here. And I think why we haven't had any endorsement that Mike McDaniel is the head coach who's going to stay and this, that, and the other, why there's been no formal comment from the Dolphins on Mike McDaniel. So let's start here. John Harbaugh and the Ravens, they agreed to part ways yesterday, which is a nice way to say you're fired. And from all the reports that are out there, John Harbaugh's agent's phone is blowing up with teams calling him and inquiring. There's only 6 head coaching jobs open. His agent said they've gotten 7 calls, meaning a team with a head coach in place has called on him. And then there was a report I just saw a few moments ago on ESPN Get Up that there are teams actively in the playoffs playing games this weekend who have also reached out about John Harbaugh. So right now, John Harbaugh is hotter than a spoon at a crack house. I mean, he is red hot, and so many teams are interested in John Harbaugh. Every team that has a questionable coaching situation, and even some playoff teams. This is what Stephen Ross has been hoping for, and he got his wish. A big-name head coach was let go by a team, and it now gives Ross a reason to possibly fire Mike McDaniel and go on a chase to land a big fish as his next head coach. And better yet, it's someone with the Harbaugh last name. Ross chased, obviously, for those longtime fans who know this is nothing new. Ross chased his brother Jim Harbaugh the moment he pretty much purchased the Miami Dolphins. We all know how that ended with Tony Sperano and the whole thing. Then Ross, who is a Michigan man and who financially supports all of Michigan sports, but especially the football team, he helped pave the way and pay Jim Harbaugh to go to Michigan, and he won him a national championship there. So Ross is familiar with the family. We've been down this road before. And yes, this isn't Jim Harbaugh. It's his brother John, and he's very good as well. So Ross right now has a moment to land his big fish. It's been clear since Monday with the Miami Dolphins not committing to the future of Mike McDaniel and sending Mike McDaniel out there to that press conference alone to twist in the wind. That was the Miami Dolphins leading from behind, not endorsing Mike or going public with Mike with a statement that he is safe and he will be the head coach in 2026. They threw Mike out there in front of a podium to face the firing squad with no answers, and he was twisting in the wind. And the reason Miami hasn't commented is because they were waiting. Would Mike Tomlin possibly be fired? Would John Harbaugh possibly be fired? Would someone else who they might be interested in be fired? Well, here we are now on Wednesday, January 7th, and the Ravens let Harbaugh go, and he's on the open market. Now, do I expect Stephen Ross and the Miami Dolphins to hire John Harbaugh? If I had to bet a buck, the answer is no. But he needs to try. Coaches like this, with his resume, do not hit the open market often. In fact, almost never. So you have to take your shot if you're Stephen Ross. And Miami right now isn't the most attractive job on the market. It's not even a job on the market, but if they were to make a play, it wouldn't be the most attractive job out there. But it's not impossible for Stephen Ross to land John Harbaugh. He only has to do two things. Two. The first thing is simple. You fire Mike McDaniel now. You do not wait. Before this goes any further, you fire Mike McDaniel now. If Mr. Ross learned anything 18 years ago or so, however long it's been, it's that you can't really talk to a head coach candidate until you fire the one you got. I know there's some people out there, some even in the media, who don't think you have to do this, but given how badly it blew up in Stephen Ross's face the first time around with Jim Harbaugh, he needs to fire Mike McDaniel now and then put on the full court press for John Harbaugh. If you don't fire Mike first, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. Folks, nothing's going to happen. Doing it the other way will just make Ross look like a bigger clown than he already is. Don't make the same mistake twice. These head coaches in the NFL, there's only 32, are like a little club. It's a fraternity. They look out for each other. There's a code of honor amongst them. They don't want to look like they're trying to get a job of another head coach who hasn't been fired yet. Okay, they don't want that blood on their hands. Ross has to clear the deck, fire McDaniel, get the blood on his hands, so then Harbaugh can come in, interview, and come in clean as a whistle. And what's the worst thing that happens here? You fire Mike McDaniel. John Harbaugh signs with another team. And at worst, you just fired a head coach you really weren't in love with anyways, and you move on to someone else. You promote Weaver or hire whoever. Literally, it's a win-win. You're not losing anything because it's not like Mike McDaniel's the next Lombardi. So it's like fire him, make your play for Harbaugh, and if you don't get him, it's not the end of the world here. Because literally anyone is better than Mike McDaniel right now, and even the Miami Dolphins know that deep down inside. Folks, the windshield is larger than the rearview mirror. You fire Mike and you just move on to the future, which is hopefully John Harbaugh. That's step one. You got to fire Mike. Not even up for conversation, not even up for debate. You fire Mike. Now, number two, here's the other thing Ross has got to do. And again, I always get, feel funny talking about someone else's money. But he's an owner. He's a billionaire. I won't feel that funny. The Dolphins have nothing to offer John Harbaugh other than money, power, and a South Florida lifestyle. The Miami Dolphins roster sucks. The Dolphins don't have a franchise quarterback. The Dolphins' salary cap situation is an utter disaster that'll take at least 2 years to clean up. The Miami Dolphins have 5 picks in the top 100, not awful, but Cleveland, which has a head coach opening, has 2 picks in round 1 this year. The Jets have 5 picks over the next 2 seasons, and they could do the same thing that Miami's doing and fire Aaron Glenn in a minute and say, look, we got 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. Come here. The Giants have a top 5 pick, and they have a quarterback in place with Jackson Dart. The Titans have a high pick, and they also got Ward, last year's number 1 overall pick. Miami's situation is by far the worst out of all of these situations and possible competition for John Harbaugh. Folks, just stating, not hating. That's just the reality of it. We got to be honest with ourselves. So how do you overcome that? You got this horrible situation, but you want to land this guy. Simple. Money. Lots and lots and lots of money. Money and power. Miami will have to overspend and make John Harbaugh the highest paid coach in NFL history, and they probably need to give him some power to boot. Let John Harbaugh hire his own GM that he wants to work with. Let John Harbaugh have final say over the 53-man roster. Miami is not in a position of leverage. They have none. There's a lot of heavy lifting here, okay? Whoever takes this job as a general manager and whoever the next head coach eventually is, there's a lot of heavy lifting. This is not, add a couple guys in next year, you're in the playoffs. This is, we got to wait out these horrible contracts, clean out the cap. You got to hit on your picks in the draft. Wait a year or 2 for those rookies to really get in their it's heavy lifting. And the only way someone's going to sign up for that is if you pay him lots and lots and lots and lots of money, the highest paid ever, and you got to give him power. You got to give him some control. Because this isn't, if you're the Dolphins, your pitch is this. We're not just hiring football coach John Harbaugh. We want John Harbaugh to be Miami Dolphins football. The way Don Shula was, the way Jimmy Johnson was, and the way they tried to do it with Nick Saban, although he didn't stay here long enough. Like, John Harbaugh is the face of the organization. He runs Miami Dolphins football, and you just stay the hell out of his way. Okay, we tried this with Sean Payton a few years ago, the tampering, losing draft pick, suspension. So it's not like Ross isn't on board with this, because why would Sean Payton want to come here a few years back? It's not like we were great then. No, because you're going to make him the football guy in Miami. He's the face of the organization. He calls all the shots. He hires everyone. He's in charge of everything. This is what Miami needs to now offer John Harbaugh. And they can, because not every owner out there will. I'll tell you right now, the Giants will not offer him that. They'll pay him a lot, and he'll be the head coach. You're not going to give him total power. And some of these organizations won't. Atlanta might, which might be an issue, but okay. And here's why Miami can. We stink. We've stunk for years. We have nothing to lose. It's like, what do we have to lose? If you're Mr. Ross, if you're, Shore and Tom Garfinkel, it's like, or Troy now and Marino, you go to Mr. Ross, look, we got nothing to lose. This guy is like a home run here. We got to give him what he wants, and let's go. Give John Harbaugh a bonkers contract. Highest paid coach of all time. Give him power. And it kind of reminds me of this. When Pat Riley left the Knicks and went to the Miami Heat, this situation could be similar. Because Pat Riley, when he left the Knicks and went to the Heat, he coached, and then he was, sort of promised, when you don't want to be the coach anymore, you just go to the front office and you sort of like run the Heat. You hire the coach and you pick the players. And if I'm the Dolphins, I'm telling Harbaugh, here's the deal. You come on as coach, you have some power. We're going to pay you a ton of money. And whenever the day comes, you don't want to be the head coach anymore, you become the VP of football operations, or you give whatever goddamn title you want. And his post-coaching career is with the Dolphins, where he runs things. And he can live in South Florida. He can have that comfortable lifestyle, retire here, and have a job. At first, yes, the coach is sort of get things back on track and sort of right the ship. But whenever he doesn't want to coach anymore, John, you're still here. You become our VP of football operations. You hire the GM. You hire the coach. And you be the guy who runs Dolphins football. Stephen Ross, you have nothing to lose. This is your moment. That's your pitch. And I offer it to him ASAP. I'd fire Mike first, just so, again, no blood. So this isn't messy. That's the last thing that the Miami Dolphins need is another black eye, another firestorm, another, why would you do this when you haven't fired that guy? Don't screw it up, essentially. Just don't make it messy. Fire Mike, then say, John, highest paid coach in NFL history, power, you coach. Whenever you don't want to coach anymore, you move into this role. That's it. That's it. Very simple. Now, before I go any further, as always, wherever you're listening to this podcast, YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed. We're going to have shows, pretty much every day here until we sort out this general manager head coaching situation. So check that out. If you're on YouTube, again, super chats are open. Leave me a super chat. I'll read it on the air and give you a shout out there. And let me tell you about Dolphins Talk Extra. Patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. Right now, if you sign up, it's $3 a month. You get access to all our contests where we give away autographed helmets, autographed jerseys, and really cool prizes. You get access to a private message board, way less toxic than social media. We have happy hour shows where you can jump on the show with us and interact with Josh, Aaron, and myself, ask us questions. We can talk about anything, stuff about the Dolphins, stuff not about the Dolphins. So patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. Sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra. Okay, now, fans, let's talk. Let's talk, Miami Dolphins fans. From looking at social media here the past, 12 hours or so, whatever it's been, most Miami Dolphins fans, dare I say the vast majority, want John Harbaugh in Miami. They get it. I do see a small segment of fans, though, who do not want Miami to chase John Harbaugh. I want to speak to you. Are you on drugs? You seriously cannot be nitpicking the possibility of Miami hiring John Harbaugh. Really? Really? We're going to nitpick this. Since becoming the head coach of the Ravens in 2008, John Harbaugh has 67 games over 500. He's won, combining the playoffs, 190 games. He has won 13 playoff games. Let me say, John Harbaugh's won 13 playoff games since 2008. Miami hasn't won one since 2000. Okay? He gave the Dolphins an 8-year head start, and he's won 13. Miami's won 0. He has an above, think about this too in the playoffs. Who's got this? He has an above 500 record in the playoffs. When he gets to the playoffs, he's won more than he's lost. He's won the AFC North 6 times. He's been to the AFC Championship game 4 times. Won a Super Bowl. He's only come in last place in the North once. Ever. And some Dolphins fans are going to nitpick this. And they're gonna question if Miami should possibly hire this guy. Were you dropped on your head as a child? You've got to be kidding me. All this guy does is win. And look at how some of his most recent seasons have ended. A Zay Flowers fumble. Mark Andrews dropped a touchdown in the end zone. A missed field goal last week. That's just a run of bad luck. It's nothing he's done wrong. Good God almighty, if you're going to nitpick Miami making a play here for John Harbaugh, I hate to say it, but I'm going to be blunt. You're an idiot. I swear, talking to some segment of Dolphins fans is like trying to explain social media to a 70-year-old. It's just a waste of time. I mean, the Miami Dolphins have been hot garbage now going on 3 decades. Harbaugh gets more wins in one season than Miami does most years over 2. I mean, and if you don't want him, who else would you possibly want? Another first-time coordinator who goes on a power trip and flames out in 3 years? You aren't getting anyone better than John Harbaugh. So don't overthink this. Don't nitpick this to death. Don't look for things to say, oh, he stinks here, he's not good here. Don't look for things to complain about. Just sit back, pray, and hope this actually happens. Okay, I mean, I'm going to read you this guy's resume with the Ravens. Year 1, 2008. I'm just going to go through this somewhat quick, so try and keep up. 11-5. second place. 9-7, second place. 12-4, second place. 12-4, first place. 10-6, first place, won a Super Bowl. 8-8, 10-6, 5-11 down here. 8-8, 9-7. Okay, 8-8, second place. 9-7, second place. 10-6, first place. 14-2, first place. 11-5, second place. Then 8-9, where he came in last. Think about that. You go 8-9 and you come in last place. That's a hell of a division. Then you go 10-7, second. 13-4, first place. 12-5, first place. And then this year, 8-9, second place. You got the 1-5-11 season. You got 2 8-9 seasons. Since 2008, all this guy does is come in first and second place, and he's in the playoffs damn near every year. He's been to 4 AFC championship games, won a Super Bowl. Folks, if you don't want him, I don't know who the hell you want. I mean, I don't know who you want if you don't want him. So if you're out there and you're nitpicking this or you're looking for reasons to say you don't want him, I mean, honestly, I don't understand you. I know. And if you're one of the fans who are like, give this guy whatever he wants, yeah, you're right. Give the guy whatever he wants. Because the Miami Dolphins have been a mess. Mr. Ross right now has a moment in time to right every wrong he's ever had as a Miami Dolphins owner. It's going to cost a lot of money. It means Ross is going to have to move on from Mike McDaniel and take a risk. He can get Harbaugh. I know fans are okay with not having Mike McDaniel here, but even if Ross whiffs on Harbaugh, but Stephen Ross has to be okay with it. If Stephen Ross can get to that point and is willing to break the bank, and if he's willing to shift the Miami Dolphins front office structure from a collaboration to a top-down approach, which John Harbaugh is in charge of, then the Dolphins have a chance to land him. Not a great chance, but a chance nonetheless. And if you're a fan of the Dolphins, really, that's all you want is a chance. Get in the game. And the only way you can get in the game is to fire Mike and to open up the checkbook and give this guy everything he wants. That's what the Dolphins have to do. We'll see. Because and they did announce yesterday, it was after when I did my podcast yesterday morning, Miami Dolphins are bringing in Chad Alexander, the assistant general manager for the LA Chargers. Why is that important? And why did maybe Miami get a heads up on this? Because they announced the 6 guys earlier this week. Then all of a sudden now they're blue, Chad Alexander. Oh, why? Here's why. Chad Alexander is with the Chargers now. Prior to that, he was with the Jets for a year. Prior to that, he was with the Ravens forever. He grew up in the Baltimore Ravens circle. He knows Harbaugh. You can bring in Chad Alexander. I mean, look, you give Harbaugh the power to hire his own GM, but either way, you can pair him with someone he knows really well, and Chad Alexander has a history with, and you can see if Harbaugh's on board with that. I'm sure he'd probably say yes over hiring someone from San Francisco or Green Bay or whoever. Give me someone who came from the Ravens, who I know for many, many years, and is going to be on board with, what I want to build. And that's the way to do it. And see, and maybe you get that pairing. My fear is Atlanta's going to get that pairing, not Miami, but you got to try. That's the thing. Even if Ross misses, I won't, beat him over the head if he doesn't land Harbaugh, but he has to try. I will beat him over the head if he doesn't try. And by trying, it does mean you have to fire Mike. I don't want to hear, well, we made calls behind the scenes. Because if that leaks out, you've essentially just cut off Mike's balls. And it's like, why is he still here at that point? So that's the thing to do. Now, see, I hate doing this, but we have a thing here, Josh and Aaron, when someone on a live stream puts up a comment that's just head scratching, they call him the asshole of the week. I have, on our show, I do a Tom, idiot comment of the day. And I like you, Billy, but I'm going to call you out here. Harbaugh couldn't fix Lamar. Lamar Jackson won 2 league MVPs with John Harbaugh. See, it's comments like this where you're just looking for something to nitpick on. Lamar Jackson won 2 league MVPs. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You sound like a fool. So I can't take that stuff seriously. Did get a super chat. Oh, hold on here. Did get a super chat here from Eric. Eric, I should say. Thank you. Spot on, Mike, but I can see him in Atlanta. Yeah, I think Atlanta, first off, I think they have an owner who gets it, who understands you know, like he fired everyone on Monday, which was a smart thing to do. Here in Miami, we're just looking for a GM. We're not looking for that. I mean, we're going like a half measure maybe, but then we're reaching out behind the scenes. Like I said, there's that Josina Anderson report out from this morning that the Miami Dolphins have made contact with who made that they've been in contact with John Harbaugh. We'll see if that goes anywhere. But yeah, Atlanta, obviously they don't have the salary cap situation that Miami has. The roster's got a little bit more young talent than Miami has. You're not in and in the NFC South a little bit easier, and you don't have to go head-to-head with the Bills twice and now the Patriots twice. So I think Atlanta's a far better situation than Miami. But again, if you're Stephen Rush, you got to try. And that's all I want. I'm not saying he's got to get him. I'm just saying, please try. And by trying, opening up the checkbook, paying him a ton, and be okay with just changing your structure. It doesn't have to be, we're going to work as a group and hold hands. Okay. It's okay to give one guy power and let him run everything. And that's what Miami needs to do if they want to get in this game. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, this news just came yesterday about John Harbaugh, and I'm sure we'll hear more stuff in the coming days and hours, and more stuff will be leaked. Let me check Twitter, because sometimes when I'm on this thing live, news breaks, and I don't see it till after I'm done. So before I sign off, let me see if any news breaks. And again, there was a question on social media. I saw Dave Hyde sort of talked about this. People are saying, well, why would he take the Miami job? And I see a lot of people in our chat saying, why would he take the Miami job? Yeah, I see no new news. Why would he take the Miami job? And the question is simple, or you have to ask yourself, why did Sean Payton take the job with the Broncos when they had that horrible Russell Wilson contract? Because if you give a guy enough money and enough power, he'll put in the time and work to fix things. Okay? You're saying this guy here, I trust you. Here's a lot of money, and I'm letting you make all the decisions. So no one's going to get in your way. And that's why Sean Payton went to the Broncos. There were way better situations than the Broncos, but Sean picked there because they gave him what he wanted. And that's what you got to – yes, Harbaugh to the Giants makes more sense. You have a young quarterback in place. You have a top 5 pick. It just makes more sense. And even the roster is improved or compared to Miami. It is much better. But you give him money and power, and trust me, folks, that changes a lot. So we will see. I appreciate everyone for listening. Again, wherever you're listening to this podcast, subscribe, whether it's YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Smash it. It's always appreciated there. Put up a comment. Be respectful, but put up a comment in the comment section, and I will do my best to reply. Check out the website, DolphinsTalk.com. We have all breaking news there. We got all the rumors there. We got great articles up there, great commentary articles. Check them out there. Tomorrow I'm going to have a podcast, and I should be joined by a special guest. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. I should be joined by a special guest. I don't want to say who in case it falls through. And they're like, where's so-and-so? You said he was going to come on. Well, he should be on. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. And on social media, make sure you're following us on all the social media platforms at Dolphins Talk. Everyone, have a great Wednesday. We'll talk to you again after a while. And when you're on the road today driving around, please be sure and help us put an end to highway profanity.